Hello everyone, Storm11 here. Today we'll be doing a update live stream since yesterday's video came out really late due to internet connection, but hopefully this live stream we're going to try to make this go on pretty smoothly. But I also want to clear up something having a little bit something going on Twitter here. Welcome Dax Mains Vids Forever HD. Welcome to the live stream. We're going to be doing an update on here. Talk about the severe weather outbreak that'll be occurring tomorrow. And there is something I want to clear up about my forecast that I probably should have explained a little better. But we're going to go and get straight to that. And I deleted it on my computer, but I have it here on Twitter. And as you can see here, people are really questioning why I have a moderate risk across Tennessee. Um, the reason really for it is because the damage to winds. And I think what some people are really missing out is the percentages I put on on the left side, which is right over here on Twitter, and people are telling me that I'm trying to scare people or wish something like that, which that's not true at all with that stuff. And I'll tell you what, those people haven't really been on my channel. It seems like they're brand new people. They haven't comment, like, or anything. So they don't really know probably who I really am, stuff. And I think I just did not really explain it, which I'm going to explain it here, is really because of damage wins, which I recently put a retweet telling people why the Martyr Wrist is up to Tennessee. By the way, I have made no changes to it. Keeping the same thing on here, the enhanced risk up to Kentucky, same thing. Damage wins, possibly a widespread damage win event, and I think my forecast is starting to verify pretty well by the Nan family here. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the SPC outlook here. Let's first take a look on to day one, which is today. We got enhanced risk for severe storms across central Texas. Meanwhile, a slight risk gets expanded pretty far north as the Kansas and Oklahoma state line. As far east as Arkansas and Louisiana. And with a marginal risk as far north as Nebraska, portions of Missouri there. The tornado threat is going to be staying low. We're talking about a 5% chance, which is lower end. We might get to see a tornado somewhere in Texas today. The damage wind threat is there, but it's kind of low. But the large hail threat is what's going to be the primary threat. In that hatched area means there could be hail size 2 inches or larger in diameter. So, and within a 25 miles given point. So, we can see pretty large hail today across Texas and maybe even up into Oklahoma as well. Now, the big show, day 2, which is tomorrow. We still got that moderate risk, no high risk with this here. Got a moderate risk for severe storms across northern Louisiana, for central Mississippi into central Alabama, and southeastern Arkansas. Pretty much the same thing with the moderate risk. The only change I see is the slight risk getting expanded uh, pretty far, and even an enhanced risk getting pushed north into Kentucky as well. I can see, and the tornado threat should be staying to the south here in a moderate risk region. As you can see there, we got a 15% hatched area. That means there's a 15% of getting a tornado that could be strong in a 25-mile given point. Damage to winds is going to be one of those primary threats, and that's for pretty much the majority of the enhanced risk region. And there's your large hail threat, which we can see some pretty large hail in that area. But the damage to wind threat is there as well, and they're still calling it an outbreak of severe storms out there tomorrow. And here's day 3, which is Monday. Got slight risk for severe storms anyway from the Panhandle of Florida all the way up into Maryland and Delaware as well. those risks are going to be a little bit lower. Now let's get into the models here. So we're on the European model. I guess we could stay on here and see what its thoughts on this. So as you can see here, what I'm starting to see very interesting here is we've been seeing a trend of the severe weather moving north or expanding north. I should be saying expanding north. And what I've learned from a meteorologist out there, James Spann, and I just lost connection on the live stream. Of course it did. The internet's been really bad around here for the past couple of days. That's why I want to do a live stream, but at the same time, when the live stream goes out, you know, it's not good. Let's go back here. Stream resumed. Video output low. Yeah. Dang it, man. I don't know what. There's not much I could do here. I mean, our internet is just that bad. Everyone's using it once with the virus and stuff. But anyways, let's try to continue on. Uh, so your low pressure system is 992 millibars, and you start to see this deepen because as of right now, there's going to be big time troughing coming from Canada. Meanwhile, you got a very strong low that is ejecting right now out into the mountains of Arizona and New Mexico, and you also have that server jet bringing in the moisture. And as those three things combine together, you're going to have a very strong low pressure system. As you can see here, this is going to be deepening very fast for the next couple of hours. And as you can see here, we may see some supercell storms, even as far north as Tennessee, possibility there. Now, don't panic on this here or anything, okay? But as you can see here, supercells may try to fire up, maybe bring a strong tornado threat. That's possible. And it's kind of interesting here. Here's the next hour here. Supercells body go as far north as Kentucky, which people are saying they disagree with and stuff. Well, the European model seems like it's going to be following along with that. And it's also showing that threat still supercells down in Alabama and eventually reaching it to Georgia. And as you can see here, got a cluster of storms there, which we won't get as QT. It's going to be hard to get out of there. Let's move it to the NAM here. Now, I haven't seen its 12Z run yet. I haven't seen it yet. And let's get the future radar going on here. So let's get the composite reflectivity. We can also take a look at the NAMNS and possibility of the HERB model. We might be able to see the HERB model for tomorrow. We'll take a look into this live stream. But here comes your first front of a pretty big wave of showers of storms there. That kind of passes, and here comes another wave across the north too. Yeah, let's back this up a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell if these are going to be supercell storms or not. That might be supercell storms. There goes a round of storms up there to the north, as there will be a secondary warm front right here. And here comes new storms developing right behind here. You got another area of storms right here. And that kind of passes through. And it seems like the NAM is still moving north with this, which is kind of crazy. Maybe even pushing it to Indiana and Ohio. Let's see if that's the case with the supercell composite, where some of those ingredients really come into play. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that front is really pushing north into close to my area. This is not good news. Now, yeah, I'm having issues with forecast soundings on pitiful weather. It's very strange. Let's back this up here a little bit. But as you can see here, by the Tennessee and Mississippi state line, you got some pretty good values of supercell composite of 21, which is pretty high. Back this up a little bit, showing 22. Not as high, I believe, as yesterday, or not as bad as yesterday with these values here. But let's take a look to those significant parameters. Really, overall, 1. you'll have a tornado threat, and we know we're at least tripling that those numbers. As you can see here, it's showing above a 5, probably 5.5, which is a pretty high chance there. As you can see how it expands north, so kind of interesting move there. So again, a squall line will develop in this area and it move to the east and have a widespread damage wind threat. That is the reason why we have a moderate risk. It's because there's a possibility of a squall line developing here and an eject to the east here. As for a damage wind threat, could be about as bad as back on Wednesday there, where we had a cluster of severe thunderstorms that developed up in Illinois, went through Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and the Carolinas. Those storms actually lasted for a long time. But the hard hit places were Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Again, with these high values here, you know, if we do have any cells that develop in this area in here, you're gonna have some issues there. Just letting you guys know, but the models are not really indicating that, which is good news so far on that. And then that moves out into the Carolinas there. Let's take a look at some other ingredients. Let's take a look into the lapse rates. And we also take a look to the wind profiles because that's what really adds on to the tornado activity. As you can see here, so we actually have some values of 7s out there. Really, you need a 7 for pretty good lap rates, and we're seeing that in a few areas here. As you can see, we're seeing some 7s across Tennessee, Kentucky, backed us up a little bit, even across Mississippi, even some areas down here, Alabama and Georgia. But as we go on for the next couple hours, the lap rate's just not that strong overall. Mixed layer cape. I highly recommend using mixed layer cape than the other type of cape. I would not use both stable cape, but it's fine using surface based cape. So as you can see here, really over 500 or 1,000 joules per kilogram, you'll be good to go. And as you can see here, nearly 2,000 in Alabama, which is high. But if you go back here, it's about 2,600, which is a lot of cape here. That is a lot of cape. And with those storms back on Wednesday, we had cape values very similar to that. And welcome to anyone that's joining on the stream here. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat. I will answer you guys' questions. So this is the energy helicity index. This kind of shows you, really breaks up the tornado threat, and kind of similar to the significant tornado parameters. They're both kind of similar, showing a 5.2. Wish we could get forecast soundings. We could try that again. I don't know if it's just me or pitiful weather is having issues with getting forecast soundings, but again, the AM is still pushing that severe weather threat further and further north, which is having me some concerns for my area. Let's move on to the NAM 3KM. Let's see what it says. Let's first take a look at the future radar with the updraft helicity. Now, I haven't seen the 12Z yet, and the stream just went offline again. Oh, we're back. Hold on. Yeah, expect that to happen in this live stream. My bad, guys. Stream complete. Hold on. It should come back on. There we go. Yeah, video output's low. The internet is just so bad around here. We need a better internet, but we also need a separate router, which that should help. But here we go for the next couple hours here. And as you can see here, we do have some widespread activity here with showers of storms. Some of these storms might get a little bit tornadic, like example, some of these storms up here. really the main focus is down here, but I'm starting to have less and less confidence of a high risk with this setup here because of widespread convection here. The malls are not really impressive, but supercells or anything like that. There might be supercells right there in the Mississippi, but this is where things really start to get going here. Especially watch the Mississippi River Valley there. And bam, you got a squall line of stores. This is why I got a moderate risk again. Look at these storms here. They're getting pretty organized for a widespread damage wind event, and they're still pushing north here. And then they pass by. I think this is why we have a moderate risk. It's because of these storms right here that could pack serious damage winds. And what's also really getting me concerned here, especially when you're near the triple point of all things. Uh, Look at these cells up here in Kentucky. This is an area to watch now because of the triple point. The triple point is you got the low pressure system nearby, you got the warm front, you got the cold front. That's pretty much your triple point. Look, all these cells here out in a very tornadic area, but I want to be sure if that's the case by looking to supercell composite and significant tornado parameters. But supercell threat looks to be continuing in Alabama around the same time frame. Oh yeah, they really start to pop up um, later on. And those storms pass us by, and later on, those severe weather threat does push it to the Carolinas and Virginia, which those guys will have to keep an eye on. Yeah, that's what kind of what I thought there. Alabama there, 25. This is pretty high risk stuff. We'll see if we can have any good luck here, and I don't think we are. Anyways, supercell composite values are pretty high across Alabama. You can definitely see some supercells down there. And again, a very tornadic atmosphere anywhere in this area here. We're talking about Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky. All these places here are in a very tornadic atmosphere. You got wind direction with height, and the winds are pretty strong, which creates a very tornadic atmosphere. That's what I call a tornadic atmosphere. But this is your significant tornado parameters here, which really show you the tornado threat. As you can see here, showing pretty good values across Alabama. If we go back, yeah, these are the areas to watch here. Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama. It's really the areas to keep an eye on for a tornado threat, and even back into Louisiana and Arkansas. I mean, look at these values. A 6.5. That's very high. And that might try to sneak into Kentucky as well. It's really over a 1. And then you'll have a tornado threat. Keep in mind of that. We'll take a look at some of the other ingredients like lap rates. Lap rates can help storms out and build, be stronger, and grow in size. As you can see here, it's not that really impressive at all. But when that squall line starts to come in, look at these values out ahead of it, showing above 8. Those are pretty high values. Like I said, it's over a 7, and you'll have pretty good lap rates. And we're talking about a, a 9. But that is very isolated. That's not widespread, so it's not too big of a deal. That's probably the highest lap rates I've ever seen in the warm sector there, of all things. Cycle to mixed layer cape. This is your capable potential energy. And like I said, we'll take a look to the HER model. And as you can see here, it actually really starts to die down as you get closer to evening hours, and it gets very weak. And that's to the point where the storms die down, especially across north. There. And I think that's pretty much it from there. We'll take a look into 500 millibar uh, wind, height of wind, and we're going to be seeing a negative tilt trough coming in, and that creates bad news for severe storms. All right, that creates bad news, and as you can see here, look at these strong winds out here at 500 millibars. Up to like 120 knots. That's equivalent to, I think that's about 125 miles per hour, maybe 130 mile per hour winds right there. I mean, that is pretty daggone high when you think about it. And really, to cause some problems, it's over 440 or over 60 knots. And you're talking about over doubling that, closing to tripling it. So those are very high amounts, and it reminds me back in January where we had a severe weather event, very similar to this type of setup, where we had very strong winds here. But the thing is that the storms got too far ahead. But when that cold front came through, oh boy, that cold front brought in a punch with no thunderstorms, but with moderate rains. It brought in 60-mile-per-hour winds. So can't imagine what the storms will bring. But let's move. Let's take a look to the herd bottle. We'll see how far out this is. We'll see how far it can get out. So we'll take a look to. We'll take a look into your future radar here with updraft helicity. And I do not have I do not have the updated map for you guys because I'm keeping them the same. Just to let you guys know, I'll probably make an updated map tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. And guest PC does update at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, so about an hour and 30 minutes. So as you can see here across the south here, you got some significant storms across Texas, moving into Arkansas and into Louisiana. Moving into the next hour. Looks like it does increase. Yeah, it keeps on increasing. Guess one of these little Boeing segments here is what you need to watch for. And it seems like it's not that bad, really. And these storms here really start to get going, so. Yeah, it doesn't really show a tornado threat at all. Well, maybe, yeah, it actually does. Never mind. Some cells develop out front of it. But then after that, gotta watch this area in here, see if it develops anything else. Let's see how high these values are. Now, her model sometimes overdoes things. It sometimes overdoes things, especially events like these here. It overdone Northern Illinois. If you guys remember that moderate risk up there, that was a big bust. Yeah. The her model was overdoing it, which I was kind of expecting that to happen. Yeah, very high values here. It's a little bit of different scenario here. It's right at the end of the chart too. See if we can get a forecast sounding if we're lucky enough. See how bad the atmosphere is going to be. Oh, we actually got it. So the effective layer is at max at 11, but the area you really need to focus is this photograph here. Now imagine that you're up in the sky and you're looking down. When you see a significant curve like this here, that's going to spell some trouble there. Especially with these numbers here. These are winds and knots. You're talking about winds possibly up to 70 knots. With a curve like that, that's a pretty tornadic atmosphere. The LFC and the LCL is very low. You also got the equinox, which is very high, this is pretty supportive for large thunderstorms that could produce a possibility of strong tornadoes. It's that type of setup here, and that's maxed out at 46, which is a pretty big frame. We actually see some higher numbers here, actually. Effects also, yep, 52. Yeah, off the charts there. And it seems like the atmosphere may try to recover after that. As I can already tell, it's trying to recover right over here. So if this not go for the entire event, still gotta watch these areas in here as well. But we'll have to really keep an eye on this. But anyways, guys, I'm going to end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed this severe weather update. If you guys did like this update, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notifications so you're never the best to upload. If you guys got questions about this, watching this video, you can put in the comment section down below. I will answer you guys' questions, and I'll see you guys. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Not my bad, guys. Yeah, my phone is not working here with you. Sorry, guys. All right. Do you think this will go high? I got a feeling it will not. I got a feeling. Yeah, offline. Yeah, we're cutting in and out. I know, guys. My apologies on that. David Marshall. Looks nasty today. Stay safe, y'all. Thank you very much. Yeah, everybody needs to stay safe and especially stay at home. Highly recommend not having parties because of severe weather and also for the virus around, too. Can't forget about that. Where can I find photographs, wind speeds, K values? I heard SPC. No clue, though. You can go to Pitiful Weather here. Here's your website up here, www.pitifulweather.com, and you'll have the models here, and you can click